Hello, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm a little bit late this afternoon, but I've been recording. I've got my microphone here and everything. I could probably use that actually, and you could hear me that slightly bit better. But I didn't think about it, and I'm worried that if I change the audio settings, we're not going to be able to get there. But I hope you're doing okay. It is Monday, the 7th of March. We're a week into March already, which I'm okay with because now in the morning, it's like already getting a little bit light. And in fact, the birds are singing their little hearts out at 5 to 6 in the morning. Shamai, hello. I'm a little bit late. I apologize. I've been recording the sports show if you're just joining me. I say recording it. I've been doing the edits and the interviews for the sports show, which is on this evening from 7 o'clock. So one of my roles here is to put together the interviews that the boys compile and collect. And in fact, I did my own interview over the weekend, not for sports, but musical artiste in the form of Bronwen Lewis. And if you're not aware of Bronwen Lewis, you need to follow her on TikTok because she's brilliant, particularly if, like me, you are trying to learn the Welsh language, because she translates pop songs into Welsh, which is brilliant. So I got to see her on Saturday in the Torch Theatre in Milford Haven because she's on a bit of a tour, and it was just really lovely. It felt like going around your mate's house and someone just singing for you and saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if I sang this in Welsh?" And that's exactly what she did. She just sang loads of songs in Welsh, but it's brilliant because she's got like original songs. She does covers. So we sang Jolene together. She encouraged us to sing throughout, and her dream, which I thought was super lovely, was to go on tour and to have people sing her songs, her original songs. And I think that any musical artist would agree that the best feeling in the world is to know that your art, that thing that you've shared with the world, is appreciated and is bounced back on you. I think that is the best feeling ever. And she got that on more than one occasion because she's released a track, TAV, which means you and me. And there is this little girl on the front row. She fell asleep, bless her, in the second half, but she got to sing TLV. And Bronwen was like, "Sing along with me if you know the words." Like the chorus is the same, it just changes musically speaking. And this little girl, Maisie, was singing her heart out on the front row, and it was so lush, so nice. And then as the evening went on and people had their interval drinks, we started singing a bit more. I didn't have an interval drink, but others definitely did, because by the end of the thing, we were all singing in harmony. Just an audience of however many people the torch can hold. And it was just super nice. I bumped into two people that I know there who are interested in Welsh language music, so that was good fun. And in fact, I played Bronwen on my show this morning. So if you want to listen back to the podcast, then you can listen back. I played Your Heart's My Home, and I interviewed Bronwen after her performance as well. And I've tried talking to Bronwen before, and like we've exchanged a few emails and whatnot. And she nearly came onto this show. So there's a part of me that's kind of hopeful that she'll come back. Hello, Tracey. And she was so lovely, A, on stage, and B, upstairs. And her dad was on the merchandise stand as well. It was it just felt lovely. So pleasure meeting you both. In fact, I'm going to take that recording. I'm going to put it up here so you can hear just how lovely she is. Just over 3 minutes of loveliness, and like the whirlwind that she's had over the last, well, I suppose 2 years. She did 47 free gigs on Facebook, similar to what we did here with the Sing Along Fridays. She did a similar kind of thing. And yeah, from the back of that, she then started doing TikTok, and she's been doing translations of different songs. And I'm just really chuffed for it. She came to prominence first. She went on The Voice. And from The Voice, she did Fields of Gold in Welsh. And that kind of catapulted her a little bit. Then she was in Pride, the film about the LGBT community and the South Wales miners' strike. And she was in that, and she sang a folk song off the back of that. And she's just steadily been chipping away. And even the record labels were saying, "Be less Welsh." It was like, you can't be less Welsh. She's finally at the stage now where she was like, she's she's been sharing her art and her art to the world, and now she's on like a South Wales tour with more dates coming up. She's regularly on like Radio Wales and Radio Cymru and stuff, and it's so brilliant. And even Tracey's been following it. She says Twitter on this, but what she actually means is TikTok, because Tracey's been following her on TikTok. She's so cool, and she's just so nice in real life. And like we were up chatting to her dad, well, for like the third time. He's just really nice, really approachable. And he was like, oh, I do things for local radio, for Pure West Radio. Do you think she'd be happy to do a short little interview for me? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I don't want to impose. She's just done a gig. And he's like, no, it's fine. She'd love to. And I look at my phone and I was like, oh, she's just followed me on Twitter. I know. And she thought that she already was, because we've interacted a few times in the email and stuff. And she came up, and whether she did or did not, I don't care. But she was like, hello, it's nice to finally meet you. And she just recognized, like, and knew that I was someone that she had conversed with before. And it's those little personal touches that make people really, really lovely and incredible. And we had a nice little chat, talked about the set and about the promise. And I was like, do you mind just recording a quick interview? And she's like, yeah, of course. Like, we tried doing this before, we never got round to it. So I'd love to. It's making me think actually that I'd love to get her on for like half an hour and talk about the transition from growing up in Seven Sisters to, she moved to London, she was doing art, she was going to become an artist, and then lockdown, and how that kind of helped reset her career in a roundabout kind of way. I'd love to be able to talk to her longer form about how she's overcome these hurdles and being told to be less Welsh and not being signed, and being signed for small projects. I think that development of the journey is really, really powerful and a great one to share. So who knows, I might still get one. But yeah, so she was like, yeah, of course, like we've been trying to do this. So yeah, in Torch Theatre, just me and my phone, and we had a nice little chat for 3.5 minutes. And yeah, wished her safe on her travels. Next time she's coming around here, I think she's the closest she's going to come is, I think she's hoping to do a gig in Cardigan Castle in the summer when it's a little bit warmer, because as much as it's quite sunny out there at the moment, a little bit cloudy, it's still really cold, and no one wants to be sat in a castle when it's really cold. Tracey, as you have been following you on TikTok, what is your favorite translation that Bronwen has done? I'm really keen to know what people's favorites are. The songs which I've heard, so Perffaith, which is a cover of Ed Sheeran's Perfect, she was used at the end of a Six Nations campaign. And I can't remember if it might have been the last Grand Slam that we got, or whether it was last time Wales won the championship or something, but they used this Ed Sheeran cover in Welsh. And it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And she sells jumpers now, and I've got one with Gwlad Gwlad on it. And it was great, actually. At the end of the concert, we all gave her a standing ovation because she's brilliant. And she was like, well, as you're all on your feet, we might as well sing the national anthem. So we did. And again, in a wonderful harmony. And she used the phrase that her dad could sing. He's a top tenor and he's got a bell in every tooth, which is one of my favorite sayings that I don't hear often. So it shouldn't be heard often, I don't think. It needs to be something that's brought out every now and then. So it's just really nice moments to be had over the weekend. But what did you do over the weekend, and what are you planning on doing coming up? What I will say about me and being an artist, James, I owe you a phone call. I do. Things got busy, but hopefully becoming more manageable. But I hope you're doing really well. If you're not already and you're watching this, go to JNL Entertainment and go to Orchestral Beats, because it's so cool what they're up to, and people are realizing just how excellent that whole system is, and James at the fore. Really, really cool. But yeah, time just slips away, doesn't it? Where does time go? It just carries on. It doesn't stop. But talking of which, some things that I'm going to be involved in are something in St. Mary's Church in Haverfordwest. I'm going to be singing. I know. I'm going to be singing in St. Mary's Church for Into the Woods in Haverfordwest. So if you want to be involved and see all of that, I'm going to have to start sharing information and bits and pieces of what's going on. If you want to spend time with me every Tuesday evening, I run a choir in Haverhub. So need to share some information about that as well. We've been learning Brown Eyed Girl and Hi Ho Silver Line. We had our first session last week. Your first session, I believe, is free. That's through Choirs for Good, which is fantastic. Really proud to be involved with them. And in the last week of April, so that's every Tuesday. So first week of April, we got Into the Woods, already started Choirs for Good. And at the end of April in Cardiff, I'm going to be in a show as well in the Penarth Pier Pavilion, where I'm going to look plum. I can't say actually much more than that at the moment, but keep watching and you'll find out more in the coming weeks. It's as simple as that. I'll share as and when I'm allowed to share a little bit more information, but that's what I'm getting up to at the moment. This evening, I'm going to be on the Pure West Sports Show, as I mentioned earlier, so you can see me there as well. That's broadcast live on Pure West Radio, where you can listen live at purewestradio.com. You can download the new mobile app, which looks brilliant, and I've made it look even more excellent with some custom graphics for it as well, which I'm really proud of. I'm getting my phone out now so I can show you the schedule. In fact, it's going to be really small, isn't it? But what you'll see, if it'll load, is these little images. I did these images, and I'm really proud of them. So as well as early breakfast, I'll be on the sports show this evening, and we've got Phil Steele joining us on the show this evening. Phil Steele of rugby commentary fame, and really looking forward to having his insight not only on the Six Nations and the national side is going on, but Phil Steele's involved at the moment with club rugby. And for someone that's just told you about his singing and acting stuff going on, I do love sport as well. So what a great day. What a great day. So that's me at the moment. In fact, I go straight from there to singing. Love it. I absolutely do love it. Other things that I was going to mention to you, cold weather, reading. I haven't done much reading recently, but I am on Hannah McKim Coaching's book. So if you're not already following Hannah McKim, you need to give her a follow, because I'm in the midst of reading about 21 inspirational stories from women. In fact, this is what I was going to talk about throughout the week when I first started getting the book out. And it's like, how do you see yourself and who do you resonate with and things like that? And it's interesting that whenever I read, I often think it might just be the upbringing. Like Collie's already said that she's sending love, of which I'm sending an abundance to you if you need it. Is like, who do you resonate with and who do you really kind of like vibe with? And it's funny reading some books, you think, oh, actually, I feel very akin to this person or less familiar with this person. And it's interesting because female authors, female stories, they're the stories that kind of resonate with me and make me think, oh yeah, I actually relate to that in a weird kind of way because I'm not female. But hey, it certainly wasn't a struggle to read Hannah's chapter at all. The details are quite harrowing and they might be triggering, but what you can do with that triggering information and how you can turn it into something great is brilliant. And in fact, I caught up with Hannah very quickly yesterday. She's doing yoga. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just looking forward as well. In fact, I want to know what you are getting up to. In fact, the big one, because it came out since last time we were talking, the no more restrictions by the end of the month. How are you feeling about it? Are you ready for it? Is there any reservations that you may or may not have? It got me thinking about, I used to wear a hat with hello written on it all the time, but I've since had my haircut. It's a bit bad-heady today, but I like it. So I don't wear that cap anymore, but it's got hello written on it. And the ethos behind that, when I first launched it, the hello range, was when we were coming out of this phase of lockdowns and no one really knowing who we are and what we can do and what we're allowed to do. And very different to wearing a mask where you can't see anything. You probably can't hear me now. Was to do with hello and being open back up again and sharing stories, sharing experiences, enjoying each other's company and being able to see a smile and share it and get those signatures back, as opposed to just like my eyes just getting smaller a little bit. So smiling's really important. And we get to have that back. We get to share these stories. We get to share good and bad stories. Like there's some people that are out there that are still really struggling, particularly with what we're seeing on the news at the moment. And we were joined by Abigail last week. And in fact, because I was recording my show late, I haven't had a chance to send Abigail this because I was doing the edits. Let's have a look. I'm going to send this to her right now. I'm live now. If you're free, there you go. I feel like I'm doing the request now. So couldn't send for I was running late. In fact, 1 o'clock has come from absolutely nowhere today, but we are here now. So it'll be good to get Abigail's tuppence worth if she can come on in the next minute or so. Fingers crossed, because it's always good to hear from Abigail. And of course, she was cut short last week. She was like, I can't hear or see you anymore. Oh, I've got a call coming in, and she had to jump in. Over lunchtime as well, no less. What's that all about? But yes, Bronwen, if you haven't already, download your music, have a listen, take some time out to look after yourself, read some stories, say hello to people that you see on the street, smile at people, and let people know that we are here and that we are social and that we talk to each other. I think that is really vital and important. That's what hello is all about. I accept is about understanding the circumstances that we can't change whilst working towards things that we absolutely definitely want, in line with our goals and our values. But before we get there, we just need to know that we feel supported and that we are loving and sharing and caring. So that is where we are at. Abigail still hasn't seen my message, so maybe she is busy working. So before I go, tell someone hello and that you're thinking of them. Read stories, empathize with other people. And if you want to come see me in a show, I'm singing in Haverfordwest on hello and goodbye. I'm singing in Haverfordwest at the first week of April and in a show in Penarth near Cardiff at the last week of April. And if you want to learn some choir songs with me, that's every Tuesday evening at Haverhub in Haverfordwest. Hello, Lou. Late to the party today, guys. Hello and goodbye. I hope you're doing really well up there, up north. Well, even further north than up north. And yeah, I think that I'll probably... Yeah, Abigail hasn't seen it. If she'd seen it, I might have hung on just a little bit. But no worries. Just a quick little check-in. Get our weeks ready and started. And I will speak to you all soon. I'm going to get that Bronwen Lewis interview up for you and tag her in it because she's so lovely and she checks all the social medias and stuff. She's brilliant. And we need more artists like that who are sharing their stories and what they believe in and in the medium that they know best. And just to make it even like more things, she's even an artist with her hands as well. She was studying art in London when she did The Voice, and now she's a singer. We don't have to be what we think we're pigeonholed to be. That's how I'm ending here today. You don't have to be what you think you're supposed to be. You can be whatever you want. And on that, work hard, stay loving, and I will see you, if not before, next week. Take care. Bye.